Hello and welcome to my guide. This is a quick overview over the Yumi strat for dark and light. This is a full uptime strat and also lets you use markers that aren't kindred. Not to throw shade at that strat, but this one is very easy once you get used to it and hoping that it'll get some prevalence in PF. So the main thing you want to do with as the cast is going out is you want to pre-position the supports north and DPS south. What you want to do is you want to get the short healer to go north and the short tank to go south. Afterwards, you have to resolve the ball mechanic, which if you don't have to move, it's going to look like this. If you do have to move, what we do is we always move clockwise. After you move clockwise, as you see, we kind of have markers in similar fashion to DSR. So the way this works out is this lets us move to color match. So in the case of long tethers, the dark would go to purple, the light would go to yellow, and then the short tether is going to be in between. Short tether is going to be at max melee, and for a rule of thumb, we did supports left and DPS right. And then what this lets us do is no matter what the configuration of the Proteans, we will move in to the safe spots. So the short tethers will move under the boss, and the long tethers will simply move out away from the short tethers. So in this case, the Scholar and Bard would move to 3, and the Black Mage and Gunbreaker would move to C, like so. The only thing worth noting is this does force 2-man stacks in the case of light Proteans, and this is easily resolved by using a Zoe shield or something, like an Adlo, which might not even be necessary at this gear level, but in addition to a 10%. Proteans should always be mitigated regardless, so this is something that is pretty negligible once you're used to the strategy, but I'll go over some videos afterwards to show examples. The nice thing about this as well is this resolves the second half of the mechanic normally. The way we're going to force that is after the Protean finishes resolving and before the dash, the short tank is going to move to the long healer, and the short healer is going to move to the long tank. With us also forming a line, this is going to force the dash to be baited in line with us, and so everyone can dodge the same way, and this lets us resolve the next mechanic very easily as well. If it is a light dash, both groups will simply rotate out to the safe spot. It's a bit of movement, but you have plenty of time. I think the divisive dash is like a 7-second cast or something long like that. But if that is the case like this, you would simply rotate out, take the stack, and then wait for the mechanic to resolve, and you're done. In the case of dark, what we would do is we would have the long, or basically everybody rotate out clockwise to dodge. The long tethers would be about max melee, and because this is partner stacks, the short tethers could be in towards the hitbox. And so in this case, as you'll see, they'll dodge counterclockwise back in, but that's as simple as it is. Then you resolve the mechanic, you simply wait for Emissary's Will to cast, and then the mechanic is done. So this is a quick video showing how it's done in action. As you can see, we're forming our groups. The short healer is north and the short tank is south. This is a dark safe scenario. So we have to rotate. And again, everybody rotates clockwise here. As soon as the orbs pop, the long tethers are going to go to color code, and the shorts are going to be max melee and positioning for the Proteans. Afterwards, the shorts move in, the longs rotate out. And so in this case, the other healer moves towards the other long tank. The short tank moves towards the long healer here. It's a light dash, so we're all just going to rotate clockwise to the safe spot here at blue. And that's it. The Lala was being a murderous person and decided to kill their healer, but otherwise this would have been resolved perfectly. And in the case of purples, the main thing is people just need to make sure that they are at max melee. Otherwise, you'll run into some issues of being forced, with no safe spot under the boss. So in this case, it's dark safe. And so we have to rotate yet again. And again, we do supports left, DPS right, and max melee is the key here. And so as soon as the Protean resolves, we just move on to the boss. You have time to move if you're not sure where you're at, but yep. That's it. Hopefully you can take a look at the strategy. I'll have the toolbox in the description. But let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.